being gay is still a crime in some 72 countries around the world, often because of laws that were originally introduced in British colonial times. Countries like Uganda, where homosexuality was officially made illegal in 1902, and where to be openly gay is dangerous.
Help my people, we're LGBT from Uganda. Yes.
In 2009, an anti-homosexuality bill was submitted to the Ugandan parliament, which proposed implementing the death penalty for some homosexual acts, a move which was supported by one local newspaper under the headline, "Hang them." That clause was eventually abandoned, but versions of that bill have been introduced and overturned repeatedly in the courts up until last year.
Put your hands up in the air if you want to fight for freedom.
Well, in that time, a group of LGBTQ artists from countries where it's dangerous to be gay, including Uganda, have produced a new album called Rainbow Riots.
I'm a dreamer, I'm living a life of a dreamer.
Among the musicians, singers and poets featured is Kowa Tigs, who joins us from Kampala, and from Stockholm, music producer Petter Wallenberg, the man behind Rainbow Riots, is with us too. Kowa, we're hearing your song Dreamer now. It's uplifting, defiant, up-tempo, one of 3 of yours on the album. Tell me what this song means to you.
Dreamer means a lot to me because it depicts the feeling of wanting peace, wanting hope, wanting some redeeming. So see LGBT people as nothing, but they keep dreaming and hopeful that one day it could rise up and be a respected group of human beings.
Kowa, I understand the LGBTQ community in Uganda is planning a Pride parade in a few weeks' time. A brave thing to do after last year's Pride event was targeted by police. Were you there?
That was the day when policemen invaded the venue and locked us all in. There were people who were pulled and pushed and undressed and locked up in the building. Some of the LGBT community leaders tried to reason with the police officer. They were arrested and put in prison the whole night. So it wasn't very, very nice, really.
Petter, you were at that event too. What do you remember?
It was just a kind of really, really awful feeling of someone else deciding whether you're going to live or die. And I just remember looking into a stranger's pair of eyes, and it was the saddest look I've ever seen. And it just made me so sad, and it just also made me feel like this is no longer just a music project. This is something bigger.
Kowa, how dangerous is it to be gay in Uganda?
It is dangerous. It is very, very dangerous because we have had people attacked. We had people evicted from buildings. We have had people imprisoned. Just recently, a colleague of mine was actually kidnapped. They took her for 2 nights. All they wanted was a ransom. It is scary.
Petter, what prompted you to make Rainbow Riots? It's the ultimate protest, isn't it?
I kind of feel that music is above the law. Music can get through the cracks, and it can sort of infiltrate places where other things can't go. So for me, music was the most important or the most interesting factor in terms of finding new ways to get this issue on the agenda. And when I arrived in Uganda, it blew me away because I realized that the LGBT community in Uganda are already using music, and they're already using creativity and a lot of different expressions to advocate for their rights.
I know there's been a positive reaction to the album, which is great, but have you received negative feedback as well?
There's still a lot of hate out there. And one of the first things that popped up on Facebook when I launched the album was a hate message. And that hate message came from Uganda, and I deleted it. But the hate messages have kept coming in, and they're not just from Uganda, they're from all over the world. So the thing that this has made me realize is that there's still a lot of work to do, and we've got to remember this.
Petter, in the past you've collaborated with some of my favourite artists, in fact, Nene Cherry, Nicolette of Massive Attack fame, Victoria Wilson-James from Soul to Soul. That was dance or club music that people enjoy, but this is advocacy. Can music change minds too?
I think music is the most powerful tool to change people's minds, and it does constantly. If we look at culture and society, music is always there and it's highlighting what's going on. I think music is politics, absolutely. Whether we're aware of it or not, music is a message. Music is always a campaign that you're being fed. And I just kind of feel like, why not actually use this platform? I'm tired of just doing music to make people dance. I want to do music to change the world.
Kowa, I know Petter's called you a preacher. I imagine you agree that music can change minds and build communities?
Yes, very much. If you look at Uganda right now, most of the musicians sing political songs, they sing social songs, they sing economic songs. They're hoping that by singing a song, there will be some message delivered. So yes, music changes mind a lot.
One thing I loved about the album is the fact that it's happy, it has this positive vibe, it's hopeful. You can imagine the music being performed at Pride events. Does it illustrate the triumph of creativity over adversity?
I think the most political thing you can do is to be happy, especially in this context. I think from a Western perspective, you look at, the rainbow flag and you just see a sort of party symbol and you think, wow, let's party. Whereas we want to remind people of the context here. The fact that the album is very uplifting and very upbeat and very life-affirming is political in itself, because it features people who are being told you're not allowed to have a life. You're not even allowed to live. So the fact that we've created this thing, which is in many ways a big international pride celebration, that in itself is very political.
Well, listen, thank you so much for speaking to us and congratulations on the album.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
And Rainbow Riots is out now.